All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be talking NBA playing in this one. We got two good games, some injury implications, and things like that. We'll do a deep dive and talk four plays for you. But first, I do want to do a little announcement because we hit 10,000 subscribers. So I can't thank you guys enough for the support. When I started this was just supposed to be for fun, and it grew, overnight practically. And I just saw steady growth and just kept grinding with it. And here we are, 10,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate everyone. If you're new, definitely go ahead and subscribe. We rip out, daily content like this most days. Yesterday I didn't get to a video just because there was no NBA and there was only 5 MLB games, and also most of those games started early. So no video yesterday. But yeah, we're back in the grind. Daily videos. Once NBA is over, it'll be sad, but we're going to continue doing MLB. Yesterday, with not a lot going on in the Discord, we actually made some tennis plays, esports, a bunch of different types of things. So we're always active. We're always going to be attacking value, and that's how we do it over here. So like the video, comment anything down below as well, because if this video gets to 150 likes, I'll be giving away a free month of the Discord to a random commenter down there. And yeah, can't thank you guys enough for that. But let's go into the picks. Also, I go over my video picks every time. Last video, we did it reverse sweep. First time I've done that in a long time. 0-4. So gonna be a good bounce back spot for us. Went to like Kobe White, ended up having like the best game of his career, even though he's like a second half player. Went to his first half and he still killed it. Couple other guys, I think Embiid rebounded the ball really well. We talked about the hit rate, the odds, and everything. Looked good, but didn't happen for us. I don't have my notes next to me, but the other two missed as well. The only guy that we even mentioned that actually hit was Jimmy Butler, and he hit in like the last second of the first quarter. We went to his first quarter points there. But yeah, bounce back spot today. Let's jump into the picks. And the first guy I want to talk about is going to be Bam Adebayo. So you can see it's a popular play, 8.2 thousand people on it. I do not go to these because if it's a popular play, I only go to a value. Sometimes the popular plays are horrible in terms of odds and things. People really just go off the hit rates here. And I bet this is a popular play for the under because you can see the last 5 games, is averaging 22 PRA. But with that said, I'm going to take the over here because there's no Jimmy Butler, there's no Terry Rozier, and we're going to see how that does affect him in a game it's win or go home in the Heat. Doesn't matter if they're injured. They always find a way to keep games close. The Bulls are rolling a little bit, but, I would not be surprised if Miami goes out there and keeps this game close, even win this thing, even with all their injuries. So let's go to Bam's outlier page. This is Outlier. You can actually check this out for a free week if you want to. Use my link in the description. Just let them know that I sent you there. But we see Bam here. Obviously, a horrible hit rate when you don't consider the injuries, but 33% of the year he's gone under this, including last game against Philly when they needed him most. He didn't step up for him. 33%, 24 of 72 games, averaging 33.4 PRA. But the big thing, let's just go take out of the equation here. Jimmy Butler, MCL sprain, not going to be playing in this game if they even advance. I don't think he's going to be playing for a few weeks, they said. And we take Jimmy out of the equation and we see right off the bat, 71% hit rate. Very consistently right around this mark. So it's not like he's crushing this line, but he's been consistent. I don't even know. This is 10 straight games that he's gone over without Jimmy Butler. So you take into account this game's at home, 78% hit rate, 7 of 9 games without Butler at home. He definitely steps up when he's needed to. He's going to shoot a few more times. We can see the field goal attempts goes up to 15.7 with Jimmy off the floor here. And he's also playing a team that he's played pretty well against in the past. He's kind of an active guy. Vucevic is a big body down there, but he's a little slower. Hopefully Bam can take advantage of that. And he's crept over both the games, most recent games against Chicago here, both this year as well. Yeah, even this is with Jimmy Butler or without Jimmy Butler, 39 and 40 in both those games. So Bam looking really good. You can get this on PrizePicks, but you can get this probably everywhere 70 or at 35 or 37.5 here. Looking good. Matchup I don't mind at all. To the center position, they're middle of the road. But again, we saw the head-to-head. And the big thing here is no Jimmy Butler, no Terry Rozier even, no Josh Richardson. He's been out for a while. And even just taking Jimmy out, looking really good. But it's not just the hit rate, not just the matchup here. We like to check out the odds, and we can do that on DG Fantasy. Check this out for a 25% off your first month if you want to use my link in the description. Again, just lets them know that I sent you there. Also, if you use my code and you sign up for DG Fantasy, highly recommend it, but you also get a free month of the Discord. So DM me in there, say, hey, use your code, send me a screenshot, and I'll get you right in. Yeah, not a lot of stats going together today. Sometimes the hit rates are looking good, but the odds aren't. But this is one that everything is pointing in the right direction for us. We see Bam all the way down here, points, rebounds, and assists on the over 37.5. They're giving me a 51.69% chance to hit. Why is this? What is DG Fantasy even telling us? It's showing us market value. All these other sports books are at 37.5, but a lot of them, they're favored to go over. If you take the over, they're going to pay you out a little bit less. And we can see that, Pinnacle, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars, all these different sports books have this. But we can go to the sportsbook screen, they like to call it, on OddsJam. Just another tool that I have access to. You can get a free week if you want to check this out. It's super powerful. This is how I was betting on tennis yesterday. I'm just getting crazy edges, specifically on PrizePicks plays. But we can see across all these different sports books. I could scroll for a while here, but this looks at pretty much every sports book in the world. Minus 120 odds to go over 37.9. So that's taking into account all these other books. Some of them are already at 38.5. So they're landing at 37.9, and it's still favored to go over here. Looks like Pinnacle just adjusted to minus 154 on the over for this line. So looking really good for Bam. Tons of injuries on the Heat side of things. But again, they keep games close. They're that scrappy team, and I would not be surprised if they make it out of this play-in. And even with the injuries, I wouldn't want to see him in the first round. So that's going to be our first play, Bam Adebayo. We'll go a little quicker with these next few just because we got the tools and everything. You know what we're going to in terms of our method. All right, so then moving into the next play in the same game here, I'm going to Caruso, and I know he's dealing with an ankle injury. Only played 14 minutes in their first play-in game, but he's expected to play. He's a game-time decision so far, and he's moving, towards playing. And if he does go ahead and play, this is win or go home. I expect him to get, normal amount of minutes, maybe even more, just because, again, win or go home, they need Caruso on the floor. And he's just a scrappy type of player. He's a playoff type of guy. Hasn't seen the playoffs in a bit, but kind of one of those guys that can do it on the defensive end, which is huge, but also, can chip in some scoring. He's just kind of a winning player here. So this is a personal play. There's not much in terms of odds that I can go to support this, but I can support it with, hit rates and just what I'm thinking here. And I'm going to go to his 25.0 fantasy score. Again, someone that can do it on the defensive end, can chip in with some blocks and steals, but can also, score, assist, and rebound the ball when he needs to. So let's go to his outlier page. Again, 25.0 is where it is on outlier. And we can see for the whole year, 2023, he's hit this in 54% of games, averaging 26.33. So, right around that 50% mark, but they're dealing with injuries. They've had some guys out for a long time now. And we can see a lot of this green's coming, more recently than the beginning of the year. And, that's probably because of Zach LaVine taking up a lot of that usage. So going out and taking Zach LaVine out of the equation, who's been out for a while, and then you also take into account Patrick Williams, who's been out for a while. That's just a bit more usage for Caruso to have and for him to, kind of fill those roles. And when we take both those guys out of the equation, this is a 64% hit rate, 29.07 average in terms of fantasy score. So I do like the hit rate. One of these games he just missed. So, if that one's green, this looks even incredible. He's definitely due for some duds sometimes, doesn't shoot the ball, a lot, or doesn't shoot it extremely well. That just happens with anyone. But again, can make up for it with some blocks and steals. I wouldn't be surprised if he, I think his line's at 2.5 and favored to go over. So he could chip in with some, with 3 stocks, as I like to call it. That's 9 fantasy score right there. And the main thing I want to look at is, yes, the hit rate looks great here. But looking back at 2022, I'm not going to, Patrick Williams and Zach LaVine, putting them back in there. Looking at 2022, he only hit this in 23% of games. But you can see the last 2 games of the season right here are green. And what were those 2 games? They were both play-in games where he kind of stepped up his game, kind of what you think Caruso might do as this kind of gritty guy. He just did that in both these playoff games against the Raptors, and because this next team was against the Miami Heat, where he had 31.6 fantasy scores. So I think he's going to get the minutes, even with that ankle injury. There's no reason to rest a guy if there's, you're going home after a loss. So hopefully Caruso gets the minutes, gets the time, and I think he steps up his game. He's a playoff type player. So again, nothing I can show you that it's going to boost this other than, my thought process on it. And actually there is one data point to look at for BetMGM, 23.9. So they are pointing towards the under here in terms of, market value, but not a whole lot to go to, only one data point, and everything else, makes sense for me. Someone that watches a lot of basketball, I think Caruso is going to be able to get this for us today. So that's going to be our second play. All right, so before we jump into the next few picks, we're going to talk Kings versus Pelicans. But quickly, wanted to shout out the Discord community. If you're at this point in the video and you're interested in DFS, sports betting in general, whatever it might be, I think you'll enjoy it over here. Like I said yesterday, there wasn't a whole lot going on in terms of NBA. MLB, there wasn't even a whole lot. So we had a lot of fun going to some tennis plays. We're always doing some esports whenever there's value there. NHL, we had a few plays as well. We had a nice esports win as well. But there's people always talking sports, talking props, putting our heads together, trying to make good plays and make some money while we're enjoying this. It's entertainment at the end of the day. But yeah, you can get access to all my slips, anything I play personally for PrizePicks, Sleeper, Underdog, Chalkboard, or any of my correlated slips. I post here first. Any of my video picks, they're in here, an hour or two before I post the video or even make the video. So that's an incentive enough. But again, it's the community aspect. Being able to talk to a bunch of people that are, enjoy this stuff as much as you do is just a good time. So it's $20 a month, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things. You can think about it as $20 of entertainment, but there's a whole lot of ways to get in here for free. I actually have 6 affiliate links for PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble, or DG Fantasy. If you sign up for any of those using my code or link, just DM me, say, hey, use your code and link. Here's the screenshot, and that will translate to a free month. So you actually get in here for 6 months free if you wanted to do that. So it's worth it. It's a win-win-win. PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, all going to give you 100% deposit matches up to $100. Sleeper is going to give you up to $500, and Dabble is going to give you $10 just for making an account. And then you're going to get 25% off your first month for DG Fantasy. So you're getting some perks with using my code as well. But they're always throwing free squares at us. It's good to be on different DFS platforms. I know it's kind of a hard pill to swallow sometimes, but if you get Underdog, you don't have to play Underdog every single day, but this is a good example. But if you go to Underdog, you sign up, use my code, just take advantage of the days like this. Underdog has a free square for Bam Adebayo for all players right now. Obviously, Bam's going to score 1 point. Might as well go in there and take advantage of the promo they're running. I know Chalkboard does this all the time. Sleeper does this all the time as well. Maybe I think Sleeper has a protected play. So they all have different perks. There's different reasons to be on all of them. But again, if you sign up using my code, puts a little bit back my way. So I'm going to give you guys a free month. Yeah, it's a Discord. Definitely come in here. We're always having fun. Looks like someone just chatted right there. There's people always talking. So get in there and let's get back into some plays. So Pelicans Kings is the next game. And it's an interesting one because the Pelicans obviously don't have Zion. That's a huge thing. But on the Kings side of things, they have not played well against the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans have almost won. They might have even won every single matchup against the Kings this year. So I want to go to some Kings players, but every time I go to someone, either their line is really inflated or it's a line that they have not been hitting well against the Pelicans. So it's going to be a different type of game. Obviously, no Zion down there. Sabonis could have a good game, but he just hasn't played well against this team. So I'm kind of staying off Kings players. But with that said, I'm moving into the first quarter props here. I know everyone loves these. Some people hate them. Some people love them. But I'm going to go to Brandon Ingram here. Obviously, no Zion. But first quarter props here for Brandon with the ankle injury. I think he's still able to get this. We'll see if he plays, as many minutes as he can in the full game. But I think in that first quarter, he's pretty much a shoe-in for, 8 to 10 minutes. And he's been hitting this very consistently. So let's go to first quarter points for Brandon Ingram. I got it pulled up here on Outlier. We can see 68% hit rate on the entire year, including that last game. Didn't play very well at all. I think he scored 11 points, but did get 5 in that first quarter. So great hit rate here, 6.46 average. And then you take into account games that Zion Williamson is out. And this one's looking really, really good. Did I hit that? There we go. Looking really, really good. 8 of 9 games without Zion. He's gone over this. In all of these hits, he's hit at least 6 points. So he hasn't even had a game where he's had 5 points. So hit rate, obviously incredible here. 6.89 average in those games without Zion. Did miss one game against the Thunder here, but it looks like they didn't get the offense going at all that game, only scoring 83 points. Looking really, really good. And then take Zion back into the equation and go to the head-to-head matchup. I said they played well against him. Every single game in the past year and a half, he's gone over this. And again, they've played each other how many times? 4 times this year. And he's gone over in all of these. So the matchup I love here for BI, the hit rate, especially without Zion, is incredible. And he's banged up a little bit, but just needs 5 points in that first quarter. And we're not going to be able to look at DG Fantasy. DG Fantasy is awesome to be able to just go to, see what the best plays on PrizePicks are. It's an awesome fantasy optimizer, but they don't have first quarter points right now. But that's why we have multiple tools, and that's what we can do on Odds Jam here. First quarter points, all these different sports books, and Ingram's line is at minus 130.9 across all these different books. So definitely favorite to go over, which is great to see. Again, maybe not for his full game. Maybe sports books don't like his full game. Maybe I don't like his full game. But in that first quarter, he is pretty much a shoe-in to get, 8 to 10 minutes. Looks like this game he only had 5, but 2023 as a whole, around 8 to 10 minutes throughout the whole year, even when coming back from injury, maybe even more, 9 minutes or so. So I like Ingram in this one. Hit rate's incredible. Odds are in our favor and everything kind of pointing in the right direction. With no Zion, hopefully he steps up today against the Kings. All right, so the next guy I want to talk about is on that same team, and it's going to be a guy that not a lot of people have been loving because his minutes have been so low in a lot of these games due to matchups and him being almost played off the floor because he's so slow. But in a matchup against Sabonis, I think he's going to go out there and play a decent amount of minutes like he typically does against these big dudes. And I'm going to go to Jonas Valanciunas at 2.5 first quarter rebounds. So if you're looking at a guy with some value, I think it's probably Jonas. Just because his minutes have been so low. If you want to go to his full game, I think that's a possibility here too. But the first quarter rebounds here looking really good for me and taking the over, especially no Zion. So let's go ahead and look at the hit rate on Outlier. But again, 2.5 first quarter rebounds for Jonas Valanciunas. So our guys' Outlier page pulled up here, 59% hit rate on the year. Obviously, that's looking really good. Playing a lot more minutes in the beginning of the season and definitely losing some minutes recently. But he's always been starting. Whether he's going to play 4 minutes, 3 minutes in that first quarter, or 10 minutes, 12 minutes in that first quarter is really up to the coach. But going up against Sabonis, he typically does play 8 to 10 minutes, and I expect that to kind of stay the same here in a win or go home situation, especially with no Zion down there. They got to throw somebody at Sabonis. So 59% hit rate looking really good. In terms of the head-to-head matchup, also looking really good. Played each other 4 times this year, or 5 times this year. I think a play-in, or what is it? Yeah, play-in tournament. What was it called? Playoff tournament? What are those things called? Oh, mid-season tournament. Yeah, well, they must have played in the mid-season tournament. But 4 out of 5 games he's hit this. And in 3 of these games, he had 4 rebounds. And again, we look at the minutes, 7.5, 8 minutes, and then up to 10.8 minutes in their most recent matchup, which is promising because, again, more recently, he's been losing those minutes. So I like to see that. They like the matchup for him, and he's been able to rebound the ball really well. If you want to look at the statistics for this as well, rebounds allowed to centers. They're ranked 21st. This Kings team is allowing 12.4 rebounds to centers. So someone like Jonas Valanciunas that can grab those boards quickly, I do like this first quarter prop. And then you consider the fact that Zion's out of this game, and this looks really, really good. His 59% hit rate is going to turn into a 75% hit rate. He's played 12 games without Zion. And very, very consistently getting at least 3 boards, which is all we need. And again, you look at the minutes without Zion, even in these games that are more recent, April 5th here, 8.4 minutes in that first quarter. So I hope he gets at least 8 minutes. That would be great for us. And I can sneak over with just getting 3 boards, but maybe he goes out and gets more. This is playoff type atmosphere. Maybe they throw, different matchups at this guy. And I'd like Jonas against the Kings here. And then in terms of odds, we can look at this on the Sportsbook screen over on Odds Jam. And it's nothing crazy, but definitely seeing market value favoring the over on this line. Looks like the average sportsbook has this at minus 126 on the over and minus 111.3 on the under. So not only is the hit rate, the matchup, me thinking about the game, and everything checking out that way, but the odds are also liking this one in terms of market value. So yeah, Valanciunas and Ingram first quarter plays for us for the Pelicans. Not sure what's going to happen with this game. Pelicans have had the Kings' number, but obviously the Kings play extremely well against the Warriors. They're kind of rolling right now, and they want to see that 8 spot going up against the Thunder. So can the Pelicans, keep up with them without Zion? We'll see, but hopefully these are 2 great games, and those are our 4 plays for today. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today. Obviously, it's always up to you guys if you want to take these plays. I'm just going to, mumble around and talk about why I like them and show you some stats, and it's always up to you if you want to take them or not. But Bam Adebayo over 37.5 PRA, Alex Caruso over 25.0 fantasy score, Brandon Ingram over 4.5 first quarter points, and then Jonas Valanciunas over 2.5 first quarter rebounds. I also think I said ankle injury for Ingram. He's coming off a knee injury, so I wanted to clear that up as well. But yeah, thanks for 10,000 subscribers. Again, if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like. If this video gets 150 likes, I'll be giving away a free month of the Discord to a random commenter down below. So you got to comment as well to get in on that. Just tells YouTube to get this video out a little bit more. So I appreciate all of that. But yeah, excited about some of these games. Really excited for playoffs to start, soon. And yeah, it's right around the corner. Can't wait for some more good NBA games. But if you're looking for MLB plays, I'll be posting those in the Discord. So again, definitely come check us out. It's a great community. I think a lot of people would advocate for it. We have not had like an amazing day recently. We haven't had one of those 20 unit days, 30 unit days in a little bit, but we've been grinding around. We'll take the little wins, the 4 unit days, the 3 unit days, whatever it might be. And we've been profitable every single month since I started that. So it's a long-term game. And yeah, excited about these games. I'll see you guys in the next video, or if you're in the Discord, I will see you in there.